Hello, we're going to do this beautiful scene from Antibes, France. This is the French doorway, I call it. It's very nice. All right, we'll do a little Windsor blue up in that little area of the sky, and then we're going to put a wash of raw sienna over everything else. Just cover the whole thing. We'll change a little bit on the earth, on the ground surface there. Save that doorway. I just a very light doorway. So this is ultramarine and a touch of red for that driveway here, walkway. Okay, it's just a little bit violet. All right, this area here is very light, very white. So I'm going to go in with a towel and just lift off some of that color. It's still raw sienna, but it's very light, and that's what I want to do. Okay, so we're going to put a wash of, we're going to do the shadow area. I put a base of raw sienna first. Now I'm putting a coat of rose over it. This is the shadow of the building. The building on the right is extended, and it's casting a shadow into the alley where that doorway is. All right, so that's the shadow. Raw sienna first, and then a wash of rose on top of it. And now I'm going to put a wash of ultramarine blue and just let that come down on the whole thing. Just wash it right down. Let it cover the whole thing. Just let it go by itself. Put a little spray on it if you want. Right, and then we have another, the same, the shadow. There's a shadow from another building casting a shadow on this part of that building, which is another extension on the left side. And that's creating the alley, okay? So we can cover that whole thing. There's a set of shutters there that we're covering up. They're going to be blue. So there's your shadow colors, all right? So I'm going up. There's an overhang here on the roof, and that's just quinacridone sienna with a little touch of ultramarine blue. Very warm. I'm just painting, that's the overhang, and it comes down on that edge of the wall. You can see that shadow. All right, I'm going in painting the doorway now. The doorway is a blue. It's a French ultramarine blue. All right, I'll just... you could use a cobalt blue here. Just paint the whole doorway first. All right, that's the door. You can see there's an incline in front of that door. You know, there's a slight incline. That's why it's so light, like a driveway almost going up to that door. Now I'm going to wash out the top part of that blue with some rose, just to show the light hitting that door. All right. All right, I'm putting the shutters in here. This is just cobalt blue. Just nice flat brush. You can just put 2 shutters. We'll go in and put some little panels on those. All right, the one on the bottom is much higher. There's a little window up there that I'm just painting. There's 6 little panes, and there it's in the shadow, so just a window. A little drip there will pick up. All right. All right. There's some doorways leading in there on the right. And they're just washes of of raw sienna. And then once you put that stroke in, see the angle of the top. It's going down towards the door. And then I'm going in there with some quin sienna, just at the top. Okay, and that kind of leads us into that doorway as well. It's really nice. All right, I'm putting the shadow on the door now. There's a very dark shadow at the top of the door and along that side where the light is hitting it, you know. Okay. I'm just adding a little bit more rose there, and then washing it up with nothing, letting it come down. Just let that come down. It's nice and wet. I touched it with a towel. It's a little too heavy there. All right. See that light hitting that door. All right, the doorway is recessed, so the top of the door is in the shadow. You can see it's going back, and that right hand side will get a little bit, but the left hand side is, you leave that alone so it's nice and light. It comes back at an angle. And I'm just going to trim out these blue shutters now. Just a little bit of raw sienna along the top and along the right side where the shadow is. A little piece of trim going along the top and on that side. It just helps break that up a little bit. Another window on top, doorway. Just raw sienna, okay? All right, there's a nice bush in front here. So this is just ultramarine blue mixed with quinacridone gold to create that beautiful dark green. And that's on these inside bushes, this plant here. So just creating plenty of plants, plenty of stars. The outside stars have a little more. I put a little Aurelian yellow in there. Aurelian yellow on the outside petals to lighten it up a little. It's getting a little more light. So down below we have the shadow. It's casting on the walkway here. So ultramarine, and then I added some rose to it. Nice and juicy, loosen it up. So that's the plant casting that shadow. So okay, just loosening up the edge a little bit. Keep that nice and warm, nice shadow. All right, going in with a flat brush, I'm just putting in the panels on the shutters. Don't get too detailed here, just, you know, enjoy it. Just go down with this is a good way to do it with a flat brush, you know, just don't worry about every panel, you know, you just want to give the impression. All right. I'm adding a balcony up there. Yeah, that's actually not in the photo, but and there's a lantern hanging here on the inside that lights the doorway at night. We have some shrubbery underneath the balcony there. Okay, and yeah, and there's a piece of shrubbery growing on the side of the building here. And they're in the light. See how light green that is compared to that plant that's on the right. It's getting the sun. All right, put some raw sienna up near the wall. It's a lot of light reflecting off that. All right, there's little patio type steps here. Not steps, but, you know, just a little shadow casting down from that, from the leaves under the. So there's the painting. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope that helped you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you so much.